So, I hate Facebook bait. Where somebody, okay, yeah, no, I do. I hate Facebook bait. Where someone puts a stupid, like, just a quote, a very controversial quote on Facebook, and then a bunch of people blow up at it, and he gets his or their whatever, I don't care. Their time of fame. But I think it's interesting that when it comes to criticizing, like, the gospel, criticizing Jesus, yeah, there is a time of anger, because, he's my God. He came and died for me. He suffered and died on the cross for me. And I love him. And when somebody insults somebody you love, you get mad. But the thing is, Jesus tells us that if somebody criticizes, then rejoice. Because, at least they're drawing attention to it. And it's interesting that, a lot of people don't understand why. The quote was, this guy, it's 2018, why do people still believe in Jesus? And that is an interesting question, isn't it? It's been 2,000 years. And it's been 2018 years since Jesus died. And people still believe in him. See, and it's interesting that would be a fact, because what he claimed was that he was the Son of God, and that he would rise again from the dead 3 days after he was murdered. And he would, that's a huge claim. And see, the gospel doesn't really stand the same as other religions, because it hinges on not a fact that will happen one day, like it doesn't hinge on the apocalypse. It's saying that something happened 2,000 years ago, and the people who were there, who saw it, his followers, didn't disappear after he was murdered, because he was murdered publicly. They executed him publicly. And you would think that a belief system that hinges on a fact that was true 2,000 years ago would have died 2,000 years ago, because, one, Jesus was a man, right? And if he was a man, then even if he hadn't died, which was, publicly witnessed. Everybody saw him because he was famous. He was walking around, during a very controversial time, during a very difficult time for the Jews, saying that he was the Son of God. So he was publicly executed. Everybody was there. Everybody saw it. In fact, Pilate, the guy, the actual leader of the nation, presided over the case himself. It was very, 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 very public. Especially during those times, because the Roman era was huge. They were the bosses. They were they were a conquering army. And it's interesting that even if he had not been executed, he would have died of old age, right? Because if he had, risen from the dead, people would have been following him, right? He would have they wouldn't have let him out of their sight. He would have been their leader, their spokesperson. He would still be around, but he's not. And it's been 2,000 years since the time of Christ. And people still believe. So, yeah. It's an interesting conundrum, isn't it? How a belief system that states that a man would rise from the dead 2,000 years ago would still be around 2,000 years later. Because, I mean, in every other criminal case, every other famous criminal case out there, it takes maybe, I mean, we've even discovered who Jack the Ripper was. They pretty much was a woman who was jealous and, or, well, they have an idea. You'll just look it up. Pretty sure they already found out who Jack the Ripper is, or they have an idea. And we've discovered, debunked all these famous cases of murderers and mysteries and all this stuff. But it's been 2,000 years. And nobody knows where Jesus is, because he's not in the tomb. And he's not in the tomb because Pilate himself has documented, the government of that time, documented that they lost him. Pretty sure Roman soldiers were executed because they were watching the tomb to make sure that he didn't actually rise from the dead. And when they found that the tomb was empty, they were executed. Now, why would anyone die for a lie like that? And see, there's the thing with the disciples. Yes, this is long-winded, and if you're sticking this out, then thank you. But there's the disciples. What did they get out of it exactly? Because they were tortured to death. All of them. They were, and death is easy. Death is an escape. There were people who were tortured continuously for years. They were pariah of the country. They were ostracized. They got nothing from it. There was no glory in life for them. What did they get from it? So yeah, why do people believe in Jesus after 2,000 years? Because they saw him rise from the dead after he promised them that he came not as a condemner, not as a vengeful God here to destroy the world, but to bring us back, because we're his kids, we're his children. He made us. And it's interesting to see people from God's perspective compared to seeing God from people's perspective. Because from where he's sitting, you're his children. He made you in love. He created you in his image, made you to be, everything about you was planned and crafted. And from men's perspectives, God must be evil, or if he isn't evil, then he doesn't exist. But I don't understand why anybody would think God would be evil. If you look around at the world we live in, see, even if you take the worst of humanity, and I have seen the worst of humanity, even if you take the worst of humanity and you look at all of it, the deep web, Auschwitz, the Holocaust, Kim Jong-un, the nuclear bomb, all the evil shit that we've done in this world. You know? People kill each other for... If you're talking from a righteous point of view, we kill each other for killing our own family, right? Kill each other for breaking into our houses or trying to steal our wallets, or if you're talking about the worst of humanity, we kill each other for entertainment. We kill each other, you know, for sport. For no reason. Because we're bored. Jeffrey Dahmer killed men because he found it sexually gratifying. And yet you have this God who's supposedly perfect, you know, supposedly hateful, who didn't just, like, not kill us, but sent his son to die for us, you know, to win us over, to bring us back. I don't understand why anybody would believe he's evil. Because the majority of the time when you see evil shit happening, it's men, it's people, it's women, it's children. Have you seen the evil shit that kids can do? 2 little boys mutilated and absolutely destroyed a 3-year-old. He was just a little baby. You see how evil people are. Everybody has a person that they would kill if they had the chance. Everyone. Trust me, everyone does. Just give them the right circumstances, everyone has somebody they would kill. And God doesn't. He poured out everything on his son. So, I mean, yeah, you see an evil God, and I see a God who gives people every chance in the world, and I don't know. Yeah, it's been 2,000 years since we've killed the Son of God, and we're still here. Better than we've ever been. We're in the greatest time in history. 2,000 years after we killed the Son of God. Yeah, okay.